Hey, what's up, you guys? Today we'll finish the first unit of Step 5. So, yesterday we saw the first unit, first page. Today we will look at the first unit, second page. We will finish this unit and then we will do some exercise which is present in this unit. So, I'm going to share my screen now. As you can see, I'll speak in part 1. We'll continue. After you have introduced yourself in part 1, the examiner will ask you some short questions about yourself based on different topics. For example, sport. Uh, Follow these steps to help you prepare for this. Okay. So after we have introduced ourselves, they will be asking us questions such as where you're from, what's your hometown, or else do you work or study, and then the examiner will ask you. These are the short questions, okay? But you have to answer them fully and correctly. So after answering these questions, the examiner will move on to some different topics. So it may be general and it will be based on you. Okay. So the part 1 topic is completely based on um, about yourself. Sometimes it may be of general question, but it is rare. Even if that question happens, do not panic, but listen to the questions very carefully. Now, step 1. So after they have been asked, we have to follow these steps. These steps will help us prepare for the part 1 exam. So step 1, ask and answer the following questions about food. Practice using some of the words from the questions to help you phrase your answer. Okay. Um, I will ask a question and I will answer myself. In the meantime, when I ask the question, those who are listening, after I finish asking the question, you can pause the video and then you can answer by yourself and record it and see. Okay. Now we will move on to step 1. Practice some of the words from the question to help you phrase your answer. So, what is your favorite? My favorite sport is tennis. It's because only two players are needed in that game, so it's easy to find a person who plays along with you. However, in the case of other sports such as basketball or throw ball, many players needed in that. So tennis is my no, that's why I like it. Okay. What is my favorite sport? My favorite sport is swimming. The thing about swimming is no equipment is needed for this sport. Like if I take basketball, then a ball is needed and players have to take safety precautions. However, in swimming, you only need um, you can even swim without goggles. Goggles is an extra access. Now what I'm going to do now is the part 1 of the question. I'm going to answer the main area and then I'm going to expand the main area. So when did you become first interested in swimming? When did you first become interested in swimming? So the second question is, when did you first become interested in it? So when I was 5, I started playing tennis along with my sister. My mom helped me to get into a class, and I started as a beginner. And after that, I gradually became good at it. How often do you practice in this sport? If you have listened to the previous class, you would have remembered how if someone asks you how often, you can use some verbs and also some expressions. So, how often do you participate in this sport? I rarely play tennis now because I live in a city and there are no parks or there are no places to play tennis in the city. I wouldn't say many places. There is one place that is 5 miles away from my house. I think it's very hard to go every day to play. So, what equipment do you need for this sport? Well, not much. Mostly two rackets and a tennis ball, and on top of that you need a net, so that a lot with this net one can throw a ball. I mean, oh my god, I'll just grab it. Okay, actually not much. um for playing tennis one need, yeah, two rackets and then a tennis ball, and after that, yeah, wearing shoes might be helpful to play the game because you will be doing a lot of running. So, an ankle support shoe would be a game changer. Where do you do this sport? Okay, we have a park outside of Chennai, and we go there once a month as a family picnic, as a family, and then we set up a picnic camp over there, and then me and my husband used to play over there. The test tip, it often helps to use the same verb tense as the question. I'm really bad at it. I'm really bad at speaking and I'm really bad at writing. But passive skills, on the other hand, I think I'm not really good at it, but I'm okay in it. As you listen, note any mistakes that your partner makes, give them some feedback, then swap over, record yourself. Okay, next we will move on to step two. So in speaking part one, you may be asked a negative question. For example, why don't you enjoy? Be prepared to give a negative answer. You can also try to vary your answers by including information about the thing. So as they were saying, not only positive questions, you have to be prepared, and not only questions that direct you about the questions regarding your life. There may be some general questions. It occurs rarely, but you have to be prepared for that. And also, there will be negative questions. So the negative questions may happen. So you have to listen carefully whether they are positive or negative. Okay. Think of a sport that you don't enjoy. Answer this question. What don't you like about it? Okay. What sport you don't like? Um, Okay, think of a sport I don't enjoy. I really don't like. I hate throw ball. The reason why is whenever the throw ball comes towards you, it may hit in your face and your nose may get broken, or else something bad may happen. And also in throw ball you don't need to necessarily wear a helmet. I think for safety reasons, I hate throw ball. Okay, think of three negative answers to this question. Why don't you? What don't you do in your spare time? I don't read books in my spare time, and also I don't do anything efficiently. I'm always distracted. I think that's a bad thing about my lifestyle. Okay, I don't usually watch TV in my spare time. I don't get up before 10 o'clock on my day off. Okay, do not, don't. So don't plus work, do not plus work. I don't go to work on Sunday. So this is for beginners. So if you okay, what you what don't you do in your spare time? So I don't um, watch YouTube videos in my free time. I don't like. I don't cook in my free time. I don't play video games in my free time. So these are the verbs that you have to remember if you are a beginner. It's okay, we will just move on to the step 3. When the examiner has finished asking questions about the first topic, he or she will move on to another general topic. Okay. The examiner has finished questions about the first topic. You will move on to another general topic. Listen carefully so that you recognize the change in topic. Yes, first you have to remember the examiner will ask you questions about yourself, and then he or she will ask you a general topic. And after asking questions in that topic, he or she will move on to another topic. So you have to be careful and you have to listen carefully in what she's asking. Now let's move on to talk about holidays. Let's talk about shopping. Okay. Here are some questions to work on. Make sure you give a full answer. You may begin your answer with the words yes or no, but you must say something more so that you show the examiner what you can say. Okay, here are some more questions to work on. Make sure you give a full answer. You may begin your answer with the words yes or no, but you must say something more so that you show the examiner what you can say. So these are the questions. Is there anything you don't like doing on holidays? What is your favorite holiday? Some questions are actually yes or no questions. I've written some questions to my note. So WH questions, and then can you, would you, model work questions, and does do based on tenses. I've written some questions. So basically, questions are two types, whether it is yes or no, and then another type also there. Hold on, I'll take the second one. Okay, yes. Yes or no questions and then WH questions. So there are two types of questions, yes or no questions. So yes or no questions and WH questions both comes in every tense. Okay. So argue is do you, does, and then argue is was, where, did you, where you, have. So these are yes or no questions. So have you been running? No, I haven't been running. Have Do you like pancakes? Yes, I do. So S or no questions and W. So you have to remember that. Um, Test it. Part 1 topics are usually personal and familiar. So are always personal and familiar. Abstract topics are not discussed in the part 1. But I've seen some questions. Those are abstract, and I think majority, 99% that will be the part 1 questions will be personal and familiar. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take a short 5 minutes break, and then we are doing this exercise and another exercise. Okay, class. So we are back from the rest. Um, so one of the problems that I'm facing while doing the pronunciation practice is that my voice gets really tired. I'm often on the verge of giving up. So, but I don't want. Anyhow, we'll just start. At first, we'll just ask ourselves questions, and then we will practice along with it. Is there anything you don't like doing on a holiday? I don't like greeting people when they come on holiday to my home. So many people like many is there anything you done? think I don't like greeting people when someone come on a holiday to my home. Too much work. Many of my relatives come to my house and they expect me to greet them and then take care of them. But it's not my job. It's my holiday, so I tend not to do that. Do you prefer to spend your holidays alone or with others? Um, with others, the thing is when I spend my time with others on holidays, there then the time will just go on so fast. For instance, last year I went to Kerala and my relatives greeted me, and then we had such a fun time, and the time moved very fast. I didn't know I have spent around 7 days over there. What is your favorite holiday activity? My favorite holiday activity is cooking. So whenever a guest comes, I cook for them, and then I ask them for feedback. So whenever they say the dish is good, I take a little pride and I feel happy about it. How do you feel about going shopping? Unlike others, I don't like shopping at all. So whenever I go shopping, whenever I go to a supermarket or a shopping mall, my husband picks things for me. I don't like standing for 50 to 30 to 40 minutes and picking things. I don't like many choices. So when I go to a store, there are many choices, and I don't know what to pick at that moment. So, oh my god, I'm using so a lot. That's really fucked up. I shouldn't say that, right? Why don't you like? What don't you like about shopping? So, how do you feel about going shopping? So, I have to say how I feel. Oh my god, I have to listen to the question very clearly. How do you feel about going shopping? I often feel unhappy when I go to a shopping mall. It's really frustrating standing for several minutes and choosing an item or clothes. My legs would hurt and I feel very stressed. Whenever I go shopping, I often say to my husband that I want to go home. So I think I don't like shopping at all, unlike others. Do you like buying clothes or goods on the internet? No, I do not prefer that idea. I don't like buying any items, especially clothes on the internet. The reason why is whenever I pick, oh, whenever I'm using whenever often again, okay. No, I don't like buying clothes on internet. I don't like buying things, especially clothes on internet. The reason why is whenever I buy clothes, it often comes torn apart or else often comes faded away. The color will be different from the catalog. So these things made me not to buy from the internet. What don't you like about shopping? I hate standing on the counter and I hate standing on the aisle to choose whatever the things I need. Instead, I would just sit in my house and take my phone then order on the internet. It's that simple. But whenever I go to shopping mall with my family, they take a long time, and I hate doing that. So I used whenever, again and again. So I shouldn't have done that. And some questions I think I couldn't comprehend. It's really tiring, you know. For I started like 4 o'clock. It's 4:46 now. I took 10 minutes break. Speaking continuously is really tiring, and comprehending information continuously is really tiring. Anyhow, we just recall what we have seen so far. Okay, in the first unit, first the introduction. So the examiner will ask you, do you work or study? Where are you coming from? Where are you from? What hobbies do you have? So these questions, and after giving your details such as name and passport and everything, that the examiner will ask you these questions. And after finishing this, after you have finished this question, the examiner will ask you some general topics, and these are the exercise we did yesterday. So yes, skiing, shopping, and then backpacking, trekking. So we did these exercises, and then that comes some point. Useful words to express frequency. So adverbs and expressions. So never, rarely, I occasionally, I sometimes, I often, I usually, I frequently, I regularly, every day, every week, every month, once a week, once a month, once a year, now and again, from time to time. So I use the computer every evening. I really love it. So these are the questions we have did. And one more thing is, along one more thing is, with the help of these adverbs and expressions, we have to um, do the exercise from A to N. So that's what the homework is today, and that's what pending is today. That's what was pending is today. So now first we look at A. How often do you go swimming, skiing, and skiing? So I never went on skiing before. The reason why is I live in a hot country and there is no snow over here. Even sometimes snow comes, it evaporates within seconds. It's my country's climate is really hot. And then the second topic is B, shopping. How often do you go shopping? I occasionally go shopping. I go shopping once a week to buy groceries, such as fruits and vegetables. And on top of that, I shop clothes every month. And then C. C is trekking. I rarely go trekking. Let's just say once a year. Last year I went on trek. I went on trekking to Ponmudi Hills. I went trekking to Ponmudi Hills, and then football playing. I never played football before. The reason why is when I was growing up, there was no football stadium present near my home, um, and also my parents never let me play sports other than tennis. E, swimming. I never swam before. I never learned swimming. The reason why is I went on when I was young. The reason why is when I was younger, I went on swim. I went on swimming classes and I almost drowned. So my parents stopped me from going to swimming classes. The reason why is when I was younger, I went on swimming classes, and one day I almost drowned. So my parents told me to stop the classes and told me to stop attending the classes. Yeah, playing card games. I play card games once from time to time. In fact, I have a game in my mobile phone. So whenever I'm free or whenever I'm bored, I take my mobile phone and then play card games. And then G is climbing. Have I ever mountain climbed before? Yes, I have. Um, Sometimes I learned mountain climbing without ropes and other equipment when I was younger. I wouldn't climb huge mountains. I would just climb a rock and then I'll get over it. Then I'll just come down. It's horse riding. I live in a city. Um, I never went on a horse riding before. I live in a city, and there was no horses here. Cooking. I regularly cook at my home. In fact, before coming to this exam, I cooked a meal for myself and my family, and for my family. It's singing. I sing every day. Whenever I'm tired, I sing. Um, I don't sing to an audience. I just sing to myself. Whenever I feel down, I sing. I read a book. I don't read fictional books or autobiography books, but I read on the internet. Read some information on the internet. I rarely stitch to clothes. Hate stitching, in fact. Using computer, I regularly use my computer. In fact, I feel like I'm addicted to computers and my mobile phones and other technological devices. I draw from time to time. So when I'm free and have time to pass, and whenever I feel somewhat bored, I take a piece of paper and a pen, and then I draw portraits of people. Okay, you guys, I'm just so tired. After that, we saw, after that we saw step one, step two, and then step three. So we saw some favorite food, and then first we became interested, and then step two, um, about negative questions, and then at step three, they may ask you yes or no questions or else questions. Okay, that's all for today. I'm so tired. Just exhausted.